It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Buckeye fans? Welcome back to another episode of Locked On Buckeyes for the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast. It is Tuesday, April 27th in the year 2021, and this is a time college basketball players start accepting invitations to the U19 Team USA tryout, and a couple Buckeye basketball players received and accepted theirs. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at JStevens07. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter as well at Locked On Buckeye. Lineup for today in segment 2. We're changing the order of the day because things got changed scheduling-wise with Mr. Ryan Roberts. Segment 2 will be all about day 2 predictions, rounds 2 and 3 for Ohio State Buckeyes. Segment 3 will be possible landing spots for Mr. Justin Fields. We begin today's show talking about that very thing I mentioned about 25 seconds ago, where Meechie Johnson and Zed Key received and accepted their invite to try out for Team USA. USA. I was just recently watching D2 Mighty Ducks, and when they're at the Junior Goodwill games or whatever that thing was, I know Junior and Goodwill were in the title of that tournament that those young men played in, I got excited, more excited than I was watching the first one or the third one, because they're wearing the red, white, and blue. And as a person in America, anytime we get the opportunity to possibly represent our country, it holds a great weight, and it's a great honor as well to do that. I myself, many of you as well, will never, ever had the opportunity to represent our country in an international competition. It could be baseball. It could be wrestling. It could be boxing. It could be basketball. You pick the sport. You pick the venue. There may be a chance that you may be able to represent your country, the US of A, or whatever country you're from, in that tournament. Zed Key and Meechie Johnson, they have been invited to try out for the 2021 USA Basketball U19 national team that will compete in the 2021 FIBA World Cup in Riga, Latvia, between July 3rd through the 11th. The USA team will be coached by Jamie Dixon of TCU, where the team training camp will be held. I'm reading this directly from a press release that came out just a couple days ago, or just came out yesterday. Practices begin June 20th. The members of Team USA will leave for Latvia June 27th, with the competition beginning, like I mentioned earlier, on July 3rd. The championship game will be held on July the 11th. This is what Chris Holtmann had to say about Zed Key and Meechie Johnson receiving this honor. Quote, "This is a great honor for Zed and Meechie. I know they are excited about competing with some of the best players in the country at their age for a chance to represent our country. We are excited to follow and support them as they compete for a roster spot on this U19 team." I recently had the opportunity to interview Kyle Marshall, former basketball player at Butler University. He was on the U19 team, I believe, in 2011. And he got and during our interview, he did talk about some of his experiences in Team USA, what it meant to have USA on your chest. And when the interview transitioned to that part of the conversation, you could tell his face lit up. Now, his face was smiling throughout the entire interview, but you could tell there was a special look on his face when Team USA and those memories of him playing on that team were back in his memory, at the front of his memory. It's a special thing. I have had the opportunity to travel outside of the country. I've had the opportunity to talk to people that don't live in America, and they view America in a certain way. Maybe a lot of it lately has been controversy. Not so much that they're in it, but they're like, why is America acting the way that it is? I'm not trying to get away from that, but it's just the way that they view America at times, but everybody views America if there was nothing crazy going on, in a great way, in a great light. And many people out there want to come to America, leave their country, forfeit their country, come to America to live here because it's a land of opportunity. And this is an opportunity these young men have that many people don't have. I mean, think about all the athletes, and go back and search Team USA U19 teams. This is a tournament and a team that's put together every other year. Not every year, every other year. And so there may be players that may qualify and that may be the right age during an off year to be on this team, but right now they're not on the team. Zed Key and Meechie Johnson, I'm expecting big things from them next year on the basketball court. Meechie Johnson will get a bigger role on the team due to CJ Walker being so prominent, and then really Meechie Johnson really just getting his feet wet right now. And last year, not really counting against his eligibility. I'm expecting big things from Meechie Johnson. And then Zed Key, I'm expecting him, me personally. You guys have known I've been a big Meechie Johnson, a big Zed Key guy the entire time, because I think he can be a big piece, a vital part of this team. I'm expecting Zed Key to take a next step as well. What happened last year at Ohio State in their freshman year, or redshirt freshman year, or whatever you want to call last year, since it doesn't count against nothing, so be it. What they did was great. But to know you're getting recognized for being really talented, immensely talented, to potentially wear USA on their chest, my, it means a lot to them. It means a lot to their family, Coach Holtman, and it's just a great honor to wear USA and to leave your country, go somewhere else, and represent your country in an international contest, this one being the FIBA World Games. Let's go ahead and step away very quickly. When we come back, we'll talk about day 2 predictions for this year's 2021 NFL Draft. But first, check this out. RockAuto.com is a family business serving auto parts customers online for 20 years. Go to RockAuto.com to shop for auto and body parts from hundreds of manufacturers. They have everything from engine control modules and brake parts to tail lamps, motor oil, and even new carpet. Whether it's for your classic or daily driver, get everything you need in a few easy clicks delivered directly to your door. The RockAuto.com catalog is unique and remarkably easy to navigate. Quickly see all the parts available for your vehicle and choose brands, specifications, and even prices you prefer. Best of all, prices at RockAuto.com are always reliably low, and the same for professionals and do-it-yourselfers. Go to RockAuto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Right, Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box, so they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com. Get all the sports news you need in under 20 minutes with the Locked On Today podcast. Host Peter Bukowski updates you on the latest news in every major sport with the help of our local experts. Follow the Locked On Today podcast on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. If this is your first time listening or watching Locked On Buckeyes, I want to say welcome. Or if it's your first time in a long time watching or listening to the podcast, I want to say welcome back. And if you haven't heard, Locked On Buckeyes has one more way, one more avenue for you to consume Locked On Buckeyes every single day, along with the Odyssey app, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and the other places you can catch Locked On Buckeyes via the audio portion, the audio form. There's also a video form, another way that you can consume the video here for Locked On Buckeyes. Locked On Buckeyes has its very own YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/Locked On Buckeyes or pull up the app and search Locked On Buckeyes. Find the YouTube page. It should be right at the top. Find it, hit subscribe, and you'll be alerted every time a new video is uploaded for Locked On Buckeyes. A quick reminder, Locked On Buckeyes drops a fresh new episode for you every Monday through Friday. With a scheduling change brings a different day of the week that we are planning on going through this here portion of the podcast. What Buckeyes will be selected on day 2 in the 2021 NFL Draft? I have it broken down here, offense and defense, on my chart. I've been doing notes all week long. I actually was doing a show on Sunday, and I did a little extra preparation via handwriting some notes. Your boy still handwrites everything. I'm still that old school guy. I got a computer right in front of me. I can pull things up there, but it's still better for me to write things down because it's easier to remember them if I go that route. So yesterday we did say day one predictions. Justin Fields, top 10 pick. That's not the other one. There were two for the first round. Number two, a second Buckeye will be selected in the first round. I'm not sure who it is. I gave you four options. Baron Browning, Pete Werner, Josh Myers, Wyatt Davis. Those are my four options of players that will be drafted in day one, first round only. Now, I'm going to kind of go a little bit deeper with that, tell you who I think will not go first round from that group of four and who will go second round from that group of four. Just kind of narrow things down. That's what's planned automatically to kind of give you a little bit on the beginning, narrow it down on day two, and then day three, tell you who I think will be there and who I think will possibly be an undrafted free agent and who will not be drafted this year. So, day two, I could talk a lot. I love football. I love Ohio State football, so you guys have learned this about me. Day two predictions for Ohio State players. Day two, I do think that Wyatt Davis and Pete Werner have a really good shot of being a day one athlete, day one draftee. I think the first round will be a little chaotic. After the first few picks, I think pick two is going to be Trey Lance, not Mac Jones. I think Trey Lance is a better prospect than Mac Jones from what I have seen. I've watched more games. I've seen more of live games from Mac Jones than Trey Lance, but I do think Trey Lance is going to be pick number 3 to the 49ers. I still don't understand why people are knocking Fields and putting Wilson over Fields. I don't understand that. Would I be shocked if the Jets did not draft Zach Wilson? Not at all. But right now, that's just everything that I'm hearing is that the route they are going to go. So I did say why Davis or Warner would go for round one. So they're going to be day two pick. The other one's going to be day two pick. I don't know which one, but Werner and Davis will be off the board no later than midway through the second round. No later than that part. Josh Myers will also be a day two pick. Day two is, I forgot, I got to backtrack. So day one's only going to be the first round. Day two will be second and third rounds. Day three, which will be Saturday, rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7, really speeding that thing up, expediting that process. Thursday starts at 7. Friday starts at 8, and I'm not sure the exact start time for Saturday when they start going through that. I venture earlier in the day, maybe around 12 noon, 11 to 12 noon, just to get that thing started earlier since most people are not working. So Wyatt Davis, Werner off the board by midway through the second round. Josh Myers, I think Josh Myers is a late second, early third round pick. Just because he is at center position, I would not be shocked if he was in the second round. Over to the defense. I think Tommy Togiai is a second round pick. I think Tommy Togiai is going to be somebody that whoever picks him up will love him immediately. Will love his tenacity. Will love his hand strength. Will love his quickness, the ability to go side to side, not sideline to sideline like a linebacker, but to go side to side, up and down the offensive and defensive line, laterally, not going forward, north and south, but laterally, reading and keeping his shoulders square and perpendicular, I believe that's the right word, with the line of scrimmage so that no matter if he's reading the running back, if he's reading the tight end, who's immediately at the snap, reading the tight end who's coming down on him, it wouldn't be a tight end. I don't know what I'm thinking about. He's not a defensive end. Now, if he's reading the center or the guard at that time, in the backfield looking, if there's a fullback coming, keeping his shoulders square so that whatever's coming his way, he is able to combat that and do exactly what he does very, very well. I do also think Baron Browning will be a day two pick. Now, I have heard him rising up the board. I have seen third round grade. I've seen second round grade. It might just be that Baron Browning is the latter part of the second round, mid part second round. I don't know third round. I'm not a draft scout, as you guys know, or draft analyst, so I'm not the one to ask and say, ooh, what is it Baron Browning does not have that he's not in the first round? Maybe he's not top of the second round. But I do think Baron Browning will be picked on day 2, and then also Shaun Wade. Now, honestly, my guess was Shaun Wade was on the verge of being a day 3 pick before his pro day. Now, a pro day does not say what's going to happen on the field, but it does let people know, one, how he recovered from the injury, the turf toe injury that he had, and then two, how he's looking currently. He looked healthy. He was running fast. I think he ran a 4.3 maybe. It was either a high 4.3 or low 4.4, one of the two, but don't matter what it was. That boy was moving. I think he ran a 4.43. I know Fields ran a 4.45. The second one was didn't count because he stumbled. And then I do believe that Wade ran a 4.43, which is still fast. I think one thing I think a lot of us lose sight of is that a 4.4 is fast. The average human being cannot run a sub 5 second 40-yard dash or an under 5 second 40-yard dash. There are people that work out consistently that might not be able to run a sub 5 second 40-yard dash. Now, of course, body type for the average person working out may not be what is conducive. And of course, these athletes are next level athletes. Think about this. You've seen Tommy Toga, you've seen Haskell Garrett, you've seen Josh Myers, you've seen Wyatt Davis, you've seen how they've moved on the field. They're not average athletes. Even if they're 280, 290, 300 plus, three bills, they're not average athletes. So for them to be able to run a sub 5 second 40, that's amazing. Many of you are NFL fans, and you guys have heard about the name of Quentin Nelson. Look at how big he is and how quickly he moves. Your average person can't move that way. Your average person that weighs 200 pounds is not that quick, and he's 100 pounds more than them. Your average person that's 250 can't move like that. So they're doing things that are not normal at all. I challenge you. I challenge all of you. Have a little fun now. To go out there and to do some of the drills that they're doing, that they do. Now, of course, they're crazy athletes, crazy athletic. But go outside, do some of the drills that they do. Stretch a little bit, warm up a little bit, and do some of those drills. And then time yourself and then compare your time versus their time. You will see. This ain't just me talking. This is reality. These guys are crazy talented. So I do think Shaun Wade helped himself make some money. I think he'll be a day 2 pick, 3rd round pick in this upcoming NFL draft. If it's day 2, I would be shocked. Mainly because a lot of people don't know what position he will play. Will it be an outside corner, a nickel corner, or a safety? That's to be determined, but I think a lot of coaches and scouts already have an idea about if they draft Mr. Wade, where he will play on the field. Let's step away very quickly. When we come back, we'll discuss possible landing spots for Mr. Justin Fields. But first, check this out. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your sports action. Baseball season is in full swing, and you can track all the action at BetOnline. This week has tons of sports action on the go as the NFL draft is on and the Kentucky Derby is back as the first leg of the Triple Crown begins this weekend. Get all the latest news, odds, and info for all your sporting news, including MLB, NBA, NHL, and all your UFC/MMA action. Before the next pitch, head over to BetOnline on your laptop or mobile device at betonline.ag and check out all the great sporting news, sign-up bonuses, and contest information. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore, as this is your chance to get into the game as teams prep for their runs to the playoffs. Head to betonline.ag on your computer or mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Once again, head to betonline.ag on your computer or mobile device. And when you sign up, make sure you use promo code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON, and receive your 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, your online sports book experts. This year, the Locked On Podcast Network is partnering with the Draft Network to cover the NFL Draft live. Get insight and analysis from Locked On local experts and the Draft Network's national experts. Subscribe to the Locked On NFL YouTube page to watch live 3-day coverage of the NFL Draft, April 29th through May the 1st. As we wrap up today's episode here of Locked On Buckeyes, one quick reminder. The plan, unless something gets in the way, is to have Mr. Ryan Roberts, an NFL draft analyst, with us tomorrow, as he'll be helping us know a little bit more, get more in depth into what Ohio State Buckeye players will be thinking about on draft day and where they might possibly land. Speaking of possibly landing, this is Tuesday the 27th. a little over 48 hours, maybe 56 hours away, more than that, from the beginning of the 2020, 60 hours, day and a half, from the 2021 NFL draft. And the talk of the town has been and will continue to be Justin Fields. And now many of you are wondering, where might Justin Fields land? We've been hearing that pick number 1 is going to be or possibly going to be Trevor Lawrence. Looks like that's a foregone conclusion. I was expecting that no matter who the number 1 pick was this year. Number 2 seems like it's going to be Zach Wilson. That still scares me, makes me scratch my head. The 49ers at number 3, they're weighing their options between Mac Jones, Trey Lance. Number 4 to the Falcons. Will it be Kyle Pitts? Will it be Justin Fields? Will it be Mac Jones? We'll have to wait and see. But I got a few possible landing spots. Remember yesterday I said Justin Fields will be a top 10 pick in this draft. It is my prediction. Now, who might pick him up? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams. I got 6 teams right now that can possibly pick him up based off of the things that I have heard. These are really good possibilities that are saying that these 6 teams can possibly draft Justin Fields. There are more that can, as we know, but I think these are the most realistic options for him going in this draft. So, number 1, we already know Trevor Lawrence. Number 2 looks like Zach Wilson. Number 3, weighing between Trey Lance, Mac Jones. I think that they're going to go Trey Lance over Mac Jones. I think once everybody sees Trey Lance on the field, I think you'll be amazed at how well he plays. I also don't think trading Jimmy G for the 49ers would be wise. I think Trey Lance or any quarterback you draft, you have them back up automatically and let Jimmy G ride this thing out as long as he can. If he falls or if he flops or fumbles a ball, may want to say, take him out, put the youngster in. So now I got my 6. Number 1, the Falcons. I do think the Falcons are the great running. Possibly trading Julio Jones. Not sure that's the wisest move, but you have Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan will be almost out of here very, very soon. And I think that this option at number 4, you have really good options at quarterback. Assuming either Jones, Lance, or Fields will still be there. Those are still, I think all 3 of those, 2 are better than 1 to take over for Matt Ryan. So Falcons are there. Another option, I could have added the Dolphins, but I'm not going to. The Lions. Jared Goff, they just traded for him. Dude, does anybody really think Jared Goff is the future or the proper next level person or the person to take the Lions to a place that Matthew Stafford did not know? Yes, Jared Goff did go to the Super Bowl, and he was very close to winning said Super Bowl, but I do not think many people think he is a long-term solution for them. The Carolina Panthers. Many people might not be thinking Teddy Bridgewater is going to be the option there, or the long-term option is a starter, but I don't think he's a consistent starter, more of a backup role for them. The Denver Broncos, John Elway is going to want a quarterback that's a little mobile. Yes, you got Drew Lock, and Drew Lock is okay, but I do not think Drew Lock is better than Justin Fields. So that's, let's see, Falcons, Lions, Panthers, Broncos, that's 4. 2 more, just like I thought. I was doing all this stuff in my head. I do not think the Cowboys, they just inked up Dak. Doesn't make any sense. I don't think the Giants at number 11 with Danny Dimes, I don't think that's going to happen. The Eagles at number 12, I could easily see them moving up the board and moving and getting that option and saying, well, we like Fields a lot. We think Justin Fields is better than Jalen Hurts. Even when they were in college, I think everybody would say that Fields was better than Hurts. So why not we try to move up to get a quarterback and make it more of a college-esque quarterback competition to see what happens? Wouldn't be a problem with that. I could have added a 7th team in there in the Vikings, but I'm not sure if they're going to move for Kirk Cousins just yet. Kirk Cousins is getting up there. I'll add a 7th. 14th, the Vikings, and then 15th. I mean, the Vikings have other options or other needs right now other than quarterback, but it wouldn't surprise me. Then number 15, the New England Patriots. Yes, I know they just inked up Cam for another deal. Yes, I know what Cam Newton used to be as a quarterback. Past tense. I also know what Cam Newton is right now. I'm only laughing because me and my buddy Garrett Grandy, he is a New England Patriots fan, just Boston sports fan in general, and he used to get on me saying, man, no, Jay, Cam's going to be good. I said, Garrett, Cam can't throw the ball. Cam can't throw the ball at all. And what happened? We saw Cam can't throw the ball, and he hit me up towards the latter part of the season, and he said, Jay, you're right. You're right. Cam ain't all that. I said, Garrett, one day you'll listen to me. I'm not all-knowing, but I know a little bit. One day you'll listen to me because Cam ain't the guy. Now, you need income Cam, because Cam could be a backup or a leader for whoever the starting quarterback is. I do think Cam, if they do draft a quarterback, I think Cam does start week 1. Kind of like with Ohio State. I think Teague starts week 1, Master Teague. I don't think Master Teague is the starter throughout the entirety of the season. Same with New England. Let's say they draft a quarterback, they move up to get Justin Fields. I think Cam Newton starts early. I don't think Cam Newton starts every game if healthy for the New England Patriots. This has been fun. A lot of fun. Draft week is almost over. It's draft day's almost here. I've been smiling all week. Why? Because I love draft season. I love talking about the possible predictions. And I'm glad for this nonsense that has been spewing out of our televisions and radio stations. We won't have to listen to it anymore, or at least not very much longer, till the next draft cycle. Guys, you can always follow me on Twitter at jstevens07. You can also send all of your emails to jstevens317@gmail.com. You guys can also follow the podcast on Twitter and subscribe on YouTube as well. Locked On Buckeyes on YouTube, at Locked On Buckeye on the Twitter. Come back tomorrow. Mr. Ryan Roberts, NFL Draft Analyst, will be with us. As long as schedules still stick together. And he'll be previewing and talking about the Ohio State Buckeye draft options, draft projections for former Buckeyes. We mentioned Fields, we mentioned Wade, we mentioned Togiai, mentioned Davis. I didn't say Trey Sermon. You'll find out why when I come back solo on Thursday.